The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hi folks, and welcome to Aging Horizons. On today's show, we'll be talking about Centenarians from the Montana Governor's Conference on Aging, the 54th annual one in Great Falls. We'll discuss what centenarians are, why they're important. We found over 25 of them in the state of Montana this year, and 5 attended the conference, and we were lucky enough to talk to one and to discuss his life. Great info. Stay tuned.
Every 65 seconds, someone is affected with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Many become isolated at a time when help is most needed. If you or someone you love is affected, help is available, both for people with memory loss and their caregivers. Memory loss can feel frightening, but you are not alone. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
This is Bill. He just received his new Medicare card and is following some simple rules to protect himself from fraud. He knows to never give out his Medicare, Social Security, or bank number over the phone. And this is Nancy. She knows that to detect any problems, she always reads her Medicare summary notice or Medicare Advantage EOB to make sure the billing is correct. Both Bill and Nancy know that anything suspicious can be reported to Montana SMP at 1-800-551-3191.
45 years, 2 packs a day. It's like $80,000. I thought I was just hurting myself until I fell asleep in a chair with a cigarette. The whole house went up. I lost it all. I knew smoking was expensive, but I never thought it would cost me everything.
I've been shooting since I was young. It's something I've always enjoyed. I wasn't feeling like myself, but my friend noticed. He asked if he could hold onto my guns temporarily. At first, I was a little shocked, but then I agreed. I think he saved my life that day.
Welcome to Aging Horizons, which is brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services Senior and Long-Term Care Division. I'm your host, Brian Lamore, and we're at the 54th Annual Governor's Conference on Aging here in Great Falls, where we're discussing all types of senior issues. We're recognizing centenarians, individuals who are 100 plus. Plus, we have all kinds of other wonderful presenters here that have come in from really all over Montana and the nation. And we're lucky now, we have the conference coordinator. We have Tessa Bailey. You're a registered dietitian with the department. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Well, let's start at the top. The Governor's Conference on Aging. It's been around for 54 years. What's the objectives and why do we have a conference?
Well, great. Thank you for the question. We run the Older Americans Act through our department at the Senior Long-Term Care Division. And part of the Older Americans Act is that we provide education to the citizens of Montana and our great state and all of our counties in the state. And so this is our way to get education out about all senior and older Americans issues and nutrition and health and any type of nutrition or any type of
topic that would affect them.
type of topic.
Yeah. That's a lot like Aging Horizons.
Exactly. It's exactly like it.
Well, we're here now in Great Falls. It's the 54th annual one. Tell us how many people are attending, maybe how many presentations we have, and is there a general theme?
Sure. Our theme this year is Aging Unbound. And the theme is set by, is a nationwide theme each year for all the conferences that go on. And this year we have roughly 230 participants, including speakers, vendors, attendees, And then we had 5 centenarians join us.
Join us. And you had, I think, 25 centenarians, and you look for them every year. Now, how do you find centenarians, and who is a centenarian?
Well, a centenarian is anybody that's 100 years or over, as long as they turn 100 by December 31st of this year. Next year we'll start over with the next batch of centenarians.
That's great. And then we also have mini grants here. What's a mini grant, and who's eligible for those?
Great. The Governor's Advisory Council on Aging puts on the mini grants, and those are for any of the counties in Montana, the more the rural counties. They have to be less than 10,000 in population, but they can apply whether it be their senior centers, it can be the schools that working with the senior centers. Any type of program can apply for different ideas that they have, whether it could be to fund more activities at their centers, or it can be for anything with their kitchens or any type of activity.
Yep, I know it's kind of like seed money. You've got a good idea, but you just need a little bit of money to get it going, and they do that. And so you mentioned the Governor's Advisory Council on Aging. I think technically they put on the conference. You're the person that does it, though. But what does the Governor's Advisory Council do?
Well, they're the ones that help us plan the conference, and they are appointed by the Governor's office. The council is, but they work with us to put on the conference, get the word out about the mini grants, get the word out about the centenarians, and just overall is help promoting all of the issues that we help to support here.
So through the Governor's office, they appoint 12 individuals throughout the state, and they advise the Governor plus the Office on Aging as to the administration and how to best meet the needs of seniors. But now that ties in with the conference, because you're presenting on different topics that helps meet the needs of the seniors, right?
Right, yeah. We want to reach out through the state every year and find out what do people want to learn about. What is the topics that are most important to them, whether that be they're an older adult themselves or they're a caregiver for somebody. So we want to make sure all those needs are met, and we're presenting on relevant topics.
So it's an opportunity to learn. It's here for 2 days, and it's an annual. So by the time this airs, they'll miss this one. But next year, we'll have another conference.
Next year, we'll have another conference, and it'll be in Billings.
And they can probably find out about that through the website we have on the screen. Right. And if they're a presenter or something, they can contact you.
Contact me, and if there's a centenarian or know of a centenarian, contact me through that website too, and I'd love to get to talking with you.
Yep. And if you'd like to present or be a sponsor, the sponsors are so important. Tell us about the role of sponsors and maybe what kind of sponsors we get here.
Perfect. Yeah, we sponsors, all of our, the conference is funded completely by registrations and sponsorships. There's no other funding that comes for this, so we're all kind of a little self-funded conference. But our big sponsors this year have been, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Angel Care, McLaughlin Research Institute, Stockman Bank. So we have some great sponsors that really help us put on a wonderful conference.
Okay, and a sponsor is Department of Public Health and Human Services, Senior and Long-Term Care Division.
Yes.
And I know that having put on conferences before, it's almost a year-long event.
It is. It's a year-long.
So if you'd like more information, or if you'd like to present, you can contact Tessa at the website or the telephone number that's available. And it's something to think about next year, because it's so much fun to come and attend, meet other individuals like you. Maybe you're in the senior industry and you have a certain profession. Well, other individuals are here in that profession also, and you can share ideas. We can consolidate. We can grow aging in Montana so we can better meet the needs of our seniors through sponsors and the professionals that attend the conference. And we'd love to see you next year. So we'll have another segment here in just a moment. We'll talk with the centenarian, so stay tuned.
Can you say ombudsman?
Ombudsman. Benson?
Uma Doodlesman? Fortunately, you don't have to say it right to get the help of a long-term care ombudsman. If you or a loved one reside in assisted living or long-term care, an ombudsman can help resolve any issue. And these services are completely free and confidential. Now, why don't you try that again?
Ombudsman.
I was the last guy you'd expect to get diabetes. I was a competitive runner and I always took care of myself. So when I was diagnosed, it kind of threw me. But it's really encouraging to know I'm not alone with it. There are a lot of other people going through the same things as I am. It takes some effort. You have to keep after it. Exercise, meds, and diet are the key. But there are a lot of folks who want me to succeed. Diabetes is not the end of the world. With effort and attitude, you can have a normal life.
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
A decade of Montana fourth graders on Energy Share. If you're having trouble keeping your home warm this winter, Energy Share of Montana is here to help. We've helped thousands of Montanans who are having trouble paying their energy bills, and getting assistance from the friendly folks at Energy Share is only a phone call or Google search away. Energy Share is not a government program. It's neighbors helping neighbors who face energy emergencies. The Montana way. Call or visit our website today. Thanks to Energy Share, I'm cozy like a bear.
We're at the 54th Annual Governor's Conference on Aging again here in Great Falls, and we're talking with the Centenarians, individuals who are 100 plus. And Alton Sept, you're 100 years old. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Well, I note in your write-up that you did a major lifestyle change in 1963. What was that?
Well, my daughter was born, and she was just a small baby, and I told my wife that we both smoked at that time, and I told her that it just wasn't right to be smoking over the baby.
Yeah.
And it was just about a week later, I went out to the garage to make some have-a-heart traps, and I went and you have to do a lot of soldering on them, and I ran out of cigarettes, so I went in and got a pack of cigarettes, and they were Alpine cigarettes. And I lit up one, and the smoke got in my eye, and I got mad, and I threw it behind the pack, and stomped out the cigarette and threw it behind my workbench, and that's when I quit. And my wife had some trouble, and we had a good doctor friend in Polson, and he helped her quit. So we both quit smoking at that time, and I decided to quit any alcohol also. And I think that helped me.
Oh, that's great. Well, I think back in '63, advertising for cigarettes, they had doctors recommending them, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I was in World War II, and the cigarettes were every place, and that's where I started smoking. And they were in the C rations and K rations, and you could buy them for a nickel a pack, and that's when I smoked. I was on the island of Tinian where the atomic bomb took off for Japan. And I was with the 110th Seabees. I was an officer, and I'm an electrical engineer, and my job there was to light the airfields.
Wow, that had to be pretty interesting, lighting up the airfields, making sure that they're always working, right?
Yeah. Well, I was there for quite a while, and when they first started the West Field is when I joined the 110th, and they built the West Field and had a lot of deep fills on it and what have you. It was paved with white coral, and that had something to do with this. My eyes are no good now.
Oh, because of the white coral in World War II?
White coral, and I was there for a long, long time when we built it, and of course the ducts for the lighting were on each side of the airport. A lot of B-29s went off of there before the atomic bomb came.
Oh, Well, that's interesting, but I also note in your write-up that you worked on the Fort Peck Dam. That had to have been interesting.
We took the power from the generators at Fort Peck, and we built a 115,000 volt line into North and South Dakota with a lot of substations, and I'm really happy over that job because those people in North and South Dakota had no power at all until we got the power over to them. And later on, after the RA took power from our substations, I would have to fly back over there and check the substations, and the people would come out and wave at me. And flying in a small Piper Cup airplane. And I have a painting at home that's with a man. The painting was done in Havre, Montana, and the man and the woman was reaching up and turning on the little light in the living room, and I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, in 100 years, it sounds like you've seen a lot. It has to be amazing, much as you've done a lot.
Yes, I have. I moved around a lot.
Well, what would maybe be the most amazing thing you've seen? I mean, if you were 80 years ago and you're going to say, I'm going to be 100, what's the most amazing thing you think you've seen since then?
Well, I just don't quite understand your question.
Well, you've seen a lot of change in the world.
Oh, yeah, I have. And there's a lot more power now in the United States than there used to be. And like I just told you, in North and South Dakota. And this hasn't been too many years ago that I did that. And those people there didn't have electricity.
Well, I imagine keeping electricity going to North and South Dakota from Fort Peck, it was a all-year-round thing. You've probably seen some pretty bad winters.
Oh yeah. We had a terrible climate, and our linemen climbed every day. They used the clothing that we used in World War II in the cold places, and they managed to climb every day. They're large two-pole structures and required a lot of climbing.
I can well imagine. I've got some friends that are linemen right now, and you talk to them, and they do amazing jobs, 24 hours a day, all around the nation. And when something happens, the big disaster, they go there.
That's true. And I kind of specialized in utility jobs because I kind of like that kind of work, and it was a great joy to help a lot of people, especially in eastern Montana and North and South Dakota.
Well, Alton, you've lived many places. Where are you living now?
I live in the village in Missoula, Montana. I have a house in Missoula, and I live there, and I fell four or five times, and my daughter was living with me, but she's not there all the time, and they got a little bit worried about me falling, so they moved me into the village.
Well, we're here at the Governor's Conference on Aging. We're recognizing centenarians. Did you ever imagine being 100 years old and counting?
No, I just creeped up on them.
One day at a time, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Alton, you've done a lot of great service to Montana and the nation. I'd like to thank you for that. And, you know, I hope next year when we do the 55th Governor's Conference on Aging, you'll be there for the luncheon as 101.
Oh, well, I'll try to do that. And it's just been recently, well, it's not been recently. Since I've been in the village, my knees have gotten really bad, and they haven't been able to correct them yet. But outside of that, I'm in pretty good physical shape.
Well, I've really enjoyed talking with you. Thank you for being on Aging Horizons. We all appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome.
Okay, have a good day.
Respite. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. Will you provide it?
The hard part about having outside help is that there's not a lot of people out there who can do that kind of work. We've been very fortunate that our Bonnie has been with us for 7 years. I don't know what I'd do without her. I need her in our lives. She's our second mother. And I can't help but think of her that way.
To find out how to change lives, including your own, call 800-224-6034 or visit respite.mt.gov.
Did you just text me?
I didn't want to disturb you if you were sleeping.
Sleeping? I'm sitting right next to you, silly.
There you are. Hey, I found a couple of Medicare helping programs online that I think we ought to look into.
It says if we qualify, we can get help paying for our prescription drugs. Oh, and there's a program that can help pay our Part B premium.
To learn more about extra help and Medicare savings programs, call your local SHIP counselor today.
Maybe I better text him.
I have so many questions about power of attorney. Well, some powers of attorney are for finances and others are for healthcare decisions.
A power of attorney designates an agent who would make decisions on your behalf.
While making a power of attorney, you have the ability to control your agent's power.
You also have the ability to decide when that POA would take effect.
Wait, am I giving away all my rights? Power of attorney isn't a license to make any decision for you, just those that you've specified.
Your agent should be somebody that's working in your best interest, but it should also be somebody that you would trust.
What if they try to abuse their power?
Protective measures like third-party accounting, secondary signatures, defined spending and gifting limits can help protect against financial exploitation. An agent's powers can always be limited by a customized power of attorney, and they can be revoked by you or the court if the power of attorney is abused.
So carefully drafted estate planning documents can help ensure that your finances are monitored, but not abused.
If you or someone you know is being exploited, please report to Aging Services Bureau at 844-277-9300 or the Legal Service Developer at 1-800-332-2272. This message sponsored by the DPHHS Aging Service Bureau.
Welcome back to Aging Horizons, where we're at the 54th Annual Governor's Conference on Aging. And we're going to be talking about the centenarians, individuals who are 100 plus, with Tessa Bailey. You're with the Senior and Long-Term Care Division. And let's kind of start at the top. One thing I found was fascinating in the 25 individuals that were written up, a lot of them volunteered for the military in World War II. And besides the men, a lot of the women did that.
A lot of the women were volunteered, and a lot of them worked in the shipyards, whether that be on the east or the west coast, and a lot of them were the Rosie the Riveters of that time, and they were the ones helping out the troops and getting the ships and everything prepared for them.
And then they came home, and then they raised families, and many of them were on the farm and ranches.
Many of them were on our small rural farms and cities in Montana, and yes, they were ranchers, have been, still live. A lot of them still live on the ranches that they raised their children on.
Yeah, and now the children have them. Well, we just interviewed Alton, and he mentioned one thing that he did is in 1963 he stopped smoking and drinking. So that's pretty inspirational. Well, maybe that's why you got to be 100. But what are some of the other comments that might be interesting for our viewers?
Right. Well, clean living was probably one of the number one comments that all of the centenarians have said. They attribute their longevity to clean living. But a lot of them, were, take the shot when you need to. Go for it. Go on the trips. Go, just live your life. They say, live your life and do all the fun things that you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Participate in life.
Exactly.
And we have a wonderful lifestyle in Montana. A number of them came to Montana in their later life, but earlier in their lives.
Right.
But now, we look for centenarians every year. What's a centenarian and how do we find them?
Right. Well, a centenarian is anybody that's 100 or plus, as long as they turn 100 by December 31st of this year. Next year we'll start over with a new group of them, but they can reach out to us. We have forms on our website to fill out, and if the family members or the centenarian themselves would like to fill out the forms, we'll send them in to me at the office, and they will also get a signed certificate from the governor congratulating them on the great achievement.
Mm-hmm. And you have a few common questions you like to ask of all of them, and a picture. I don't have the program here, but we got all the centenarians' pictures on the program.
We do.
Which is really neat.
Yeah, we love to have a picture and a little bit about their life, and we do a little write-up for our centenarian book for the conference each year, and that's the best part of my job, is learning about all of their lives. They've had some pretty amazing, incredible lives.
And you know, that's of a time period that's kind of gone in Montana, what they've been doing, and talking to Alton and his war experiences, his Fort Peck experiences, but reading someone's life in here and how inspirational it is, we've got it pretty good now.
We have it really good. The amount of changes they've seen in 100 years from 1923 to beyond to now is pretty impressive if you look at what has changed in our life in 100 years. And so they've lived through it all.
Oh yeah, I remember looking at the 1900 census, and if you were 45, you were old. You were really old if you were 65. Yeah. So we're living longer now, but that kind of brings into the point where the Senior Long-Term Care Division, we're wanting to advocate for seniors, right?
Yes, we want to advocate for seniors and any of the issues that that comes with, whether that be health, whether that be legal services, nutrition, caregiving, anything that may face the older adult or their families.
Mm-hmm. And like I say, I always add the families because they want to understand what their parents are going through, because they're integral to that.
Yes, many of us become our parents' caregivers, and so we need to know this information too, and how not only can it benefit us when we get to be those ages, but it benefits us as we care for our older adults and our family members.
Well, you mentioned as we become older, and that's happened to me. As I've become older, I'm aware of the senior programs that are available, and I'm here at the Governor's Conference, and it's amazing all the different topics and the experts they are able to bring in from all over the country, and we hope to interview a number of them, but want to attend these sessions. You don't have to be a professional in the aging network services to want to learn about these things. I mean, legal, fraud that is being perpetrated against Montanans and seniors. We've got legal services, things you need to consider being maybe a younger person, but someone who's going to become older. You need to be aware of that for yourself and for your loved ones. And I think we need to advocate that to our political system, in that we say seniors are important people. We want to take care of them. We want to help them to have a healthy lifestyle and live in dignity. And we've got programs that can help individuals with that. And you can check out the website that we've had on the screen, or give the Aging Services a call. They're there to help you. So thank you for joining us.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.